The gray tank. How to keep it clean. How do you keep it healthy? How do you keep from having problems on the road when you don't want them? Stay tuned for this quick tip and we'll tell you how to do that. There's really just a couple of simple things you can think about when you think about your gray tank, the drains, and how to keep those clear of the soap scum and the greases that you build up over time with just using your sinks and using your shower. We've all had so slow drains. We've all had issues with drains getting clogged up, and we've all sometimes had issues even with the gray tank draining properly. So what are some of the things that you can do to solve that problem? There's a couple of things here I brought. Number one, this right here is something that we started installing in our shower. It comes with different gaskets depending on the drain that you have. This is called a tub mushroom or tub shroom. Anyway, I'll have this linked in the description. This is something that we've installed in the shower to really cut down on what's getting into that drain. And then we also have something like this. Lots of different types of these. Again, I'll link in the description. This goes in our sink in the kitchen, and it catches any food particles in general. Now, we also spend a great deal of time making sure we're very mindful of what we're putting in the drains, because different than a house, anything you put down the drain, you're dealing with it twice. You're dealing with it when it goes in, and you're dealing with it when it comes out. So you want to think about that as you're using your camper and understand that, you know, you don't want to put anything down there that's going to be a consistent problem or something that you're going to have to be facing or dealing with in the future. So then go, okay, so Michael, what happens next? Okay, we've done that. We've limited the amount of stuff we have in there. What's next? Well, this is your best friend. Everyone can get this, Home Depot, grocery store, you name it. One of the things that I do is I will pour this into the drain once it starts becoming a little bit slow, even when these other options don't seem to be solving the problem or preventing any more or getting clogged up themselves. We go through and we pour a lot of this down the drain. I learned this on a plumbing site actually. And what ends up happening now is it breaks down those greases and those sludges and that buildup that gets inside those pipes. We leave it in those drains. We set it for about half an hour. And then once that half an hour passes, I go through and I follow that up with some nice, good hot water. Not quite boiling, but just under a boil. We make it in the kettle. We pour it in the shower drain. We pour it in both sinks in our camper. And then we flush that out. And I do it at the very end of when I'm filling the gray tank and I know I'm going to flush everything. So it also does a really good job of kind of degreasing the inside of that gray tank. And you can see that when you start looking at that drain, looking what's coming out, you can see it flowing and what's coming out of the system. And I've started doing this every month. And what I found is I don't tend to have any buildup. I don't tend to have any problems with the gray tank draining. And overall, I've just been really happy with the result. Anyway, that's today's quick tip. Hope that's helpful to you. Hope someone can get some mileage out of that quick tip and help them in the future. Anyway, safe travels.